How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to yet another weekly warehouse update. Really exciting one this week. A lot of new drops. Most of these I'm gonna go over at the beginning of this video. You could have pre-ordered, but if you didn't pre-order, don't worry. If you did pre-order, your order's probably already been packaged and shipped by the time you're watching this. If you didn't pre-order, don't fear, we still have some left. We'll go left to right here. First off, we have the brand new, this is the special edition Trail. This is the new James Conrad fairway driver, kind of higher end, probably control driver is better name for it. It's a 10-speed, I believe. This is the one, if you watched our video where we played with Simon at Maple Hill a little while ago, he was throwing the absolute crap out of the Trail. This thing was a hyzer flip, just pure dream. I'm very excited to throw it. Haven't had a chance to yet, but it seems like it's just going to be like a flip up, dead straight 9 or 10 speed. Maybe for us more average arms, it'll be a flip up and then finish. But we have the special edition one in a bunch of colors. We also have the stock one here, James Conrad Trail at 10.5, -1.1. And that's how it was flying for Simon. Maybe for Simon it was like a hair less stable, but that makes sense. It's Simon. So very, very excited about that. That's going to be a phenomenal disc and a great addition to a lot of people's bags. Oh, it looks like we also have some blank ones left as well. So some blank trails. If you're a dyer, hop on those. Then next up, I'm not going to do my song impersonation, but the Wind Dragon has arrived, as Eagle/AI described it, the fission of dimensions, because it's a fission dimension. If you haven't seen the music video, you really missed out. Please go watch it. You need it just for future disc golf references. But Eagle McMahon, fission dimension. So the dimension's what's in my bag, that Neutron 14 speed. I've been throwing it for a while. The newer runs of dimensions are pretty like neutral to slightly overstable. The fission one should be an absolute bomber. It looked like when Eagle was throwing it, he was throwing it on a lot of hyzer and it was flipping up for him, which means for us, again, mere mortals, we should be able to throw it flat or on slight hyzer and get pretty good full flights out of it. And so it's very comfortable for I believe it's a 14 speed. I am not a fan of anything above 12 speeds typically, but this is like a deep enough rim that it fits really comfortably in my hand. So there's another one that I'm gonna have to try because A, it looks very sick. B, the music video makes me be like, I have to have one in my bag. And C, I already throw the dimension, so it makes sense to have a flippier dimension. So handful of those left that didn't get pre-sold. And then last but not least, the Total Eclipse Hex. This is now the stock version of the Total Eclipse Hex. If you're looking for a slightly more overstable hex, this should scratch that itch. And the Total Eclipse means this is glow and the rims glow. And I think if it's like the other Total Eclipse they did, there's actually different color glow as well. So you can you shop by the color? Yeah. You can shop by the color it glows, which is a very, very fun quirk as well. So still plenty of time for glow golf. Heck, if you're coming into Worlds in Lynchburg, then there's actually a glow tournament that's going on. You can search it on Disc Golf Scene, the Isaiah 117 House Charity Tournament. You can play a little glow. So you might want to pick up one of these hexes before you do so. But let's show you what else is new.
All right, got some more cool drivers to show you. One more thing from MVP here. We've got the Defy in Fission. We've got this in kind of the standard edition here, and then a special edition one as well. We got it. This is an 11 speed, -1.5. 3 respect to MVP for going to the half because flight numbers are accurate. But yeah, nice. I mean, everything in Fission just feels like you can throw at 600 feet. That's just kind of how these things are built, and always have a lot more flip than normal. So like a -1.3, this might be more like a -2, 2.5, 3. So yeah, great for those who love those 11 speeds. I love 11 speeds, certainly. And then another one, great for somebody who wants a flip-up driver. This is the Captain's Thrasher. I love this. I hope they continue this Captain's theme, because I think it's so cool to take a disc and make it more overstable. It's like they're just sneaking the OS thing on every disc by calling it the Captain's. And I love it. These are 12 speeds. If you've thrown normal Thrashers, they are extremely understable. These are not like that. They're not overstable, but for a slower arm, they would be. Like I think for Missy Gannon throwing in like that 300 to 350 range, these are probably somewhat overstable. If you're getting it out there 380 to 400, you're gonna get a little bit of flip up, but not all the way over. And if you have a huge arm, you're probably getting it to flip and turn and then fade. But these things bomb, they feel great. They have similar characteristics to the feel of a Thrasher, but I think they're a little bit deeper and a little bit more dome, almost remind me of like a Thrasher and Force combination. Or actually a Thrasher and a Venom combination. That's kind of feels a lot like a Venom actually. But not quite as overstable. Really cool disc. We got these as well.
All right, we're over in Trilogy World now. We got some exciting stuff here. First off, we've got some diamonds back in stock. So we have some gold orbit. What are these? Halo burst? I never know how they call it. Oh, orbit is what they call it. That makes sense. Gold orbit diamonds. We also have some loose, I think we only have one of these of the Opto Ice Orbit, and we also have just your classic Opto. So a few different options. The diamond is one of, if not the greatest beginner driver on the market. They're always very lightweight. This one's 159, super easy to throw straight, tons of glide. They just want to stay in the air. And so it's a very, when people are getting introduced to the sport, they want a driver because, oh, everyone throws a driver. Drivers go farther. They need to be throwing mids and putters, but if you've got a buddy or that's you and you just really want a driver, this is the one that will fly closest to how it should fly, if that makes perfect sense. If you're not a beginner, Trevor had one of these in his bag not too long ago because it's just a really fun trick shot disc. As you get more and more power, you can just throw it on hyzer. It's always going to turn over. Tons of fun with trick shots. You can even, like, if you have just a standstill but you need extra distance, this will just give you that extra glide you need and everything. It's a ton of fun. It's an absolute blast. It's in their easy to throw line, which is also, this next disc I'm gonna tell you about is also in their easy to throw line. It's called the Pearl. It's mid-range. So this is similar story. If you're just starting out in disc golf or you got a friend who's just starting out in disc golf, this is a great first mid, 4.6, -4.0. Or if you're more experienced in disc golf and you're just looking for a really, really fun trick shotty type mid, that's the Pearl. It's a 158. It's also great for like juniors who are just getting into the sport too. So people are always looking for great, lightweight, understable stuff. That's what the Pearl and the Diamond do. They scratch that itch. So we haven't had Pearls in a long time. So ton of fun. Great to have those back in stock. And then last but not least, I wanted to highlight these right here, which are the Sayananda Longbowmen. So this is her Team Series disc. You can see the stamp on there, really, really fun. This is a Chameleon Longbowman. I don't know too much about the Longbowman. I don't think we have any stock ones, so I can't even rattle the flight numbers off to you, but it feels like an overstable 8 or 9 speed, somewhere in there. It feels really, really good. It feels very comfortable forehand, feels very comfortable backhand. I'm actually gonna Google the flight numbers really fast so I make sure I'm not lying to you. I was right. Westside gives it a 9403. Sometimes Westside's flight numbers can be a little bit off. Typically their discs are a little bit less stable, but regardless, nice overstable. They're giving it 9 speed. I'd probably say 8 speed, but somewhere in there, just a really comfortable, overstable fairway driver. And this Chameleon plastic is some of the best plastic out there. It feels so good. This VIP Chameleon, they really knocked it out of the park with this run. This blue one is calling my name actually. A little gummy. I might have to take the Longbowman out and see what it does. Very, very sick disc, but you can check those out in addition to a bunch of other Trilogy stuff on the site right now.
All right, I'm gonna talk about some Inova, some new restocks. First things first, the Toro. Got a little variety of the Toro here. Got it in Champ. Actually, oh, this is DX? Oh, KC Pro, that's right, we've had these before. Toro, I'd actually say, different than the Zone. Some people would try to compare this in the Zone, but I'd actually say just different, more overstable, a little bit slower. Was in my bag for quite a while. I really enjoy the Toro. I think that this is like finally Inova made a really awesome approach disc because like, don't tell Robbie C, but the Pig, you know, that was pretty a niche disc. Some people love it, some people don't. This is like a real bread and butter approach disc. And really cool, they have it in the KC Pro as well. We've got it in Star Champ and KC Pro. We even have some bottom stamp Star as well. Boom, if you're looking to dye a disc. And then I'm gonna talk about some beginner mid-ranges, okay? We've got kind of the old and the new. First, I'm gonna talk about the old. Really underrated disc, it's the Wolf, okay? This is one of the more odd looking discs out there. It's got a thumb track on it, it's very old school, and it's got even a little bit of bead on the disc, but it actually is really understable, but usably understable. This disc rocks. Hunter really loves it. I've seen him throw this disc really effectively. I used to have one when I was first getting into disc golf, but if you get past the looks of it, like this is a great mid-range I think that gets overlooked. You can get awesome hyzer flip flights out of this. If you're newer to disc golf, this is money for you as like a first disc. And then another mid-range, kind of a newer Inova mold that fits that bill that we just got a ton of in stock, is the Mystere. I'm thinking of the Mirage. The Mystere is a driver. I'm thinking of Mirage. Do we have Mirages? We do have Mirages. This is what I was talking about. I'll get to the Mystere in a second. The Mirage. This is like the newer version of like basically the Wolf type disc, okay? I don't know if the flight numbers are exact. the same, pretty similar. This is a little bit of a slower one, but similar amount of turn and a little bit less fade. But they have these in a lot of lightweights. This is like one of the best beginner mid-ranges out there, in my opinion, because like, I mean, this one's 158, really comfortable in the hand. They're small diameter. They almost feel like a putter. But if you're trying to get somebody into disc golf, like the Wolf, I think has a little bit more practicality even to the advanced player. This is really for the beginner or somebody who just doesn't have a lot of arm speed. But this is like, I'd recommend this as like a first disc golf disc. You get that feeling of that smaller rim that you get to get used to the disc golf disc, but it's not gonna take a lot of effort to get a straight flight out of, and if you throw it on hyzer, it'll be forgiving. So the Mirage is great. And then the last disc I wanna mention is the Mystere. Get those two mixed up a lot because we just got a restock of the Mystere. Mystere is an 11 speed. Wow, look at the halo on that. It's even got some shimmer on the end. We just got a bunch of halo in, and it's all going up on the site, but we got this in Star and Halo Star. These are 11 speeds with turn, so basically what you're looking at is kind of like a longer beast, but these flip a little bit easier than that. Sometimes the -2.2s from Inova, being the Beast, the Valkyrie, and the turn specifically, can be a little deceptive. They're not quite as flippy as you think. The Mystere actually is understable out of the box, like it does have some turn to it. So these are great hyzer flip 11 speeds. If you're somebody that loves Wraiths, but they start out a little bit overstable for you, this is a good place to go in that 11 speed category. And we just got a bunch of them in stock. We have a lot of Inova right now and more coming up on the site. So make sure to keep an eye on all of our Inova stock.
We're in the Discmania section over here, and we've got some new stuff to highlight. First off, the Notion we've highlighted for a while, only a handful of these left. Super, super fun, understable putter. If you're looking for like a dead straight approach, it honestly kind of feels, no it doesn't. I was gonna say it feels like a Pure, but it feels a little deeper. It feels a little different than a Pure, but probably flies like a Pure. But the two things that are brand new at the highlight is, first off, let me tell you, I'm excited about this. We have a Soft EXO Essence. First, don't be worried. Soft EXO is not actually that soft. It's just the hard EXO is that hard. But why would you ever want a baseline Essence, Hunter? Why would someone want that? Well, let me tell you, okay? Because back in my day, actually, first off, I think the Evolution line is getting ended, if I'm not mistaken. I think the Discmania just announced that. I don't know, they might be keeping some of the Essence, some of the Evolution line molds, but I know they were talking about the Active line and the Evolution line. Hey, there's a different feature. You can find it on like they did a whole video about it. I haven't had a chance to fully watch the video. I just kind of read the summary. But anywho, Essence, back in my day, Eagle McMahon, Simon Lizotte, when they were with Discmania, what they would do is, and it was the thing to do for a while, was they would get a D-line FD. So an FD for them was already flippy, similar to what an Essence would be for us mere mortals. And then they would get a D-line, which was their baseline. And why would they do that? It was because it was Aussie Open 2017 is when they were doing it a lot. They could throw it on hyzer like this, and because it was beat in, it would flip all the way over and get to a roller angle, and it would hit the ground like this, but it was so flippy that it would slowly stand up and then finish all the way to the right, allowing them to have a shot that kind of went right to left, flipped, hit, back right to left, flipped, all the way right, left to right. Crazy looking shot. Great option for a baseline Essence. So if you're looking for just a really fun trick shot roller disc, that could be a lot of fun. Or if you're a beginner and you're looking for a cheap way to get your hands on just a really good disc, this one's also 146, I just noticed, I was like, man, this thing feels light. If you're also looking for a way just to get your hands on a really good beginner driver for cheaper, that's another great option. Baseline drivers are just a ton of fun. People should be looking at them more. Another thing we just got baseline in is the Origin. This is also Soft EXO. This is also 149. So this is a great beginner lineup as well. If you're always looking for, you know, flippy beginner mids, we got the Pearl as an option. Now we have the Origin, but if you're throwing the premium Origin and you're like, man, I want it just to be flippier. I don't want to have to wait for this to beat in. This is going to be flippier. Guarantee off the shelf, going to be a lot flippier. So I wonder if they're all really lightweight. They are. So they're all just lightweight, and that's a ton of fun. So you can check them out. Lightweight Essence, lightweight Origins in the baseline plastic. Good time.
All right, got some stock MVP and Streamline to talk about. Right now, our MVP and Streamline, like considering how hard it is to keep this stuff in stock, is as good as it's been. So if you're interested in, really, we have a ton of molds. Like Silas can show you the shelves. Like there's a lot of boxes that have this in them, and that's kind of rare for MVP and Streamline because of how popular it is. I'm gonna tell you about some stuff we just got restocks in. We got the Lift. This is a really great disc from Streamline, probably one of the best Streamline discs. It's a 9-speed, -2, 1.5, so it flips up really nice. It's a really good fairway driver. If you have a higher arm speed, really good hyzer flip to turn disc. Lower arm speeds, you're gonna love the distance you can get out of this disc. Great disc there. Then we're gonna talk about some MVP. We've got some great ones. We've got the Mayhem back in stock. This is a 13-speed, -1.5, 2. So there's a lot of distance drivers that kind of fit in a similar bubble between MVP and Axiom. You kind of have to just experiment with them. I find the biggest thing you notice is the difference in the feel of the rim. You just kind of have to find what's comfortable for you. The Mayhem, though, I don't think it's too egregious for a 13-speed. Feels pretty comfy in the hand. Great distance driver option from Axiom, and obviously it looks awesome. Then we also have a restock in 2 of the best MVP molds in my opinion. We've got the Proxy, first of all, one of the best throwing putters out there. It's a 3-speed. These things are dead straight out of the box. We got it in Eclipse plastic. We got it in the Neutron. We also have it in Plasma right now. And I don't know if these are proxies. Yeah, we also have it in Electron. We have it in like all the plastics. These are great putting putters. They're awesome throwing putters, like I mentioned. Like they're fast. They're really controllable. Great throwing putters. They get overlooked. People talk about the Envy all the time, but this is for a straight putter. This rocks. And then last but not least, another underrated disc here is the Pyro. And man, these look awesome. So these are Prism Pyros, which means you have the outer rim in that see-through kind of, I guess this would be their Proton plastic, and then the Neutron in the middle. Overstable mid-range, nice and reliable. They go pretty far, they're 5 speeds, but you can throw them pretty hard and flat. They'll go straight with a pretty good defendable fade at the end. And like I mentioned, in this Prism plastic, you get some really cool combinations, and I love what they've done with their triple foil stamp as well on this disc. These, a lot of times, are tough to find. We also have them in the Pyro with the both Proton. It has the sparkle Proton on the outside and then the clear on the inside. I just think these look sick. Like, I love the Pyro. I think it's really, really underrated. Make sure to check this mid-range out. I'd really recommend the Pyro. I love it. I've had it in my bag before, and I could definitely see it going back in my bag. It's kind of similar to the Quake that I throw. Probably a little bit deeper in the hand and a little more overstable. So, ton of MVP, Axiom, Streamline right now. Make sure to check out those molds.
All right, we got some new or restock on the Hades. Great flippy distance driver if you're looking for a little flip in your life. Check out the Hades 12.6 -3.2, pretty accurate flight numbers. Also have the Big Z Hades. These typically are a little bit flatter. I actually haven't thrown a Big Z Hades, I've only thrown a Big Z Zeus, but the Big Z Zeus is a flippier Zeus, so I'd imagine the Hades is gonna be true to that as well. As we walk up the aisle here, we also have the Challenger in their new Jawbreaker plastic. If you look at this, it is gorgeous. So if you're a Challenger thrower or you're looking for a pretty like neutral throwing putter or putting putter, the Challenger's like Discraft's classic putting putter. It was the kind of like the original Discraft putter when Nate Doss was winning his world championships. He was using the Challenger. Very underrated because a lot of pros have moved on to like Lunas and Focuses and stuff like that. And the Challenger still sits here tried and true. One of the all-time great putters, just gets overlooked a lot nowadays. But in this new Jawbreaker plastic, bring some new life to it. I mean, look at that. Absolutely stunning. So there's actually a lot of other molds coming out in this new Jawbreaker plastic over the next week or so as well. But that is going to wrap up this week's warehouse update. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Head over to the site, foundationdisc.com, or download the app, and you can shop all of this and so much more. And we'll see you again next week.